Hello everyone, Teacher Melody is back for our new lesson for today. In our previous topic, you have just learned about analyzing and summarizing business transaction using the rules of debit and credit. Now, we are going to apply these rules on debit and credit in analyzing and accounting for business transactions. So, are you ready now? Here we go! In this lesson, you should be able to solve simple problems and exercises in the analysis of business transaction. Alright, analyzing and accounting for business transaction. So remember that the analysis of the effect of transaction should always be guided by the basic rules of debit and credit. For the procedures, first, of course, is the determination of accounting elements affected and their effects in the accounting equation. So given the business transactions, you have to determine what elements are being affected by the transactions and how this transaction affect these accounts. Secondly, we have the choice of appropriate account title to be debited or credited. So, after determining the accounting elements affected, whether the assets, the liabilities, or the equity, you will now choose the appropriate account title to be debited. So, for example, the asset element is the one being affected. So, what particular account title or appropriate account title should be used to record or to account that transaction? And then another one, what other element? Say, for example, the equity, what particular account title should be credited or to be debited? Of course, you will see, you will look into the transaction if it is to be debited or to be credited, if that particular account is to be increased or decreased. So always remember that the analysis of the effect of transaction should always be guided by the basic rules of debit and credit. So that is the rule. Then, the computation of the correct amount to be recorded in the book of accounts. So, these are the procedures in analyzing and accounting for business transactions. So, here are the questions mentally. So, mentally answered when analyzing and accounting for business transaction. Of course, we have to use our mind. We have to analyze in order to determine what elements are to be affected and how these are affected, in order to analyze and use appropriate accounts that are being affected, appropriate accounts where this effect will be recorded, and of course, the computation. So the questions mentally answered. Number one, what is the value received? We knew that the value received is a debit. What is the value parted with or the credit? Next one, what accounting elements are affected? Is it the asset? Is it the liability? Is it the owner's equity? Or both? What are their effects to affected accounting elements? Would it increase or decrease the asset? Or would it increase or decrease the liabilities? Or would it increase or decrease any account under owner's equity element? Next, what appropriate account title will describe the effect of transaction? So, what is the particular account title to be used to describe and to record the transaction? And then, how much is the amount to be recorded in that particular account title? So, those are the questions mentally answered when you analyze an account for business transactions. The value received, the value parted with, the accounting elements affected, the effects of the affected accounting elements, the appropriate account titles to describe the effect of transactions, and then the amount to be recorded in that particular account title. For the transaction analysis, let's consider this example. Perceive runs company purchase office supplies worth 50,000 with 50% down payment and the balance on account. So the mental analysis would be, what is the value received? Of course, the office supplies being purchased. The value parted with, the obligation to pay. The obligation to pay 50% down payment. The obligation to pay the balance on account. What are the accounting elements affected? Of course, there is a purchase of supplies. There is an increase in one asset. And then, of course, there is a payment of supplies and an incurrence of a liability. So, there is both an asset and liability being affected. How are these elements affected? For the office supplies, it will increase the office supplies while another asset will decrease due to payment, because of payment. And then there will be an incurrence of liability. So there is an increase in liability. What is the appropriate account title to be used for this particular transaction? Unused supplies, debit unused supplies, and then of course credit cash for the payment, and credit accounts payable for the obligation to pay. And then the amount to be debited, 50,000 for unused supplies, and then 50% down payment, cash 25,000, credit, and then accounts payable, credit 25,000. So this will serve as the mental analysis for the transaction given, analyzing and accounting for business transactions. Okay, any question about transaction 1? I hope you do understand transaction 1. Let's now proceed with transaction number 2. The business entity issued official receipt to the owner for his 500,000 cash investment in the business. The mental analysis of the record of the receipt would be, the value received is cash, of course, and then the value parted with is the claim of the owner in the business. So remember that the business entity's issuance of official receipts to the owner of the business is an application of the accounting concepts of separate entity and objectivity. So it means that the business is separate and distinct from its owners. So every transaction should be recorded in the business. So any personal claim by the owner to the business should also be recorded. Or any transactions or any amount being invested by the owner in the business should be accounted. So that is the concept of separate entity and objectivity. So personal transactions of the owner is separate from the business transactions. Next, the accounting elements affected, of course, asset. Effect of that accounting element is increase, of course. And of course, there is an increase in owner's equity because of the investment made by the owner. The account title to be used for the receipt of 500,000 cash in the business from the owner, you have to debit cash on hand, and then you have to credit runs capital to recognize or to record the claim of the owner in the business. Then the amount to be debited on cash on hand is 500,000, and on branch capital is also 500,000 credit. So we always maintain the dual aspect concept here, that for every value received, there is a corresponding value parted with. And of course, the balancing or the accounting equation, assets is equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. Okay, let's proceed with the third transaction. The business deposited in the bank the 500,000 cash investment of the owner in the business as per deposit slip in Land Bank of the Philippines, Luna branch. So the mental analysis of the record of the deposit would be value received, cash, of course, then value parted with, transfer or deposit of cash in the bank. So the accounting elements affected, asset, and the for credit is also asset. The effect is no effect. Why? Generally, there is no effect in cash because it's just a matter of transfer or deposit of cash to the bank. But for the purpose of classification of cash and for easy identification, cash on the custody of the entity is classified as cash on hand, while cash on the custody of the bank is classified as cash in bank. So the account titles for the transfer of cash in the bank, you have to debit cash in bank and then you have to credit now cash on hand. There will be a transfer of cash from the company to the bank. So debit cash in bank 500,000 and then credit cash on hand 500,000. So generally there is no effect. Alright, next transaction. The business entity hired Mr. J. Stagikana as operations manager of the business who agreed to be paid a monthly salary of 30,000. So, what will be the mental analysis for this? So, of course, this transaction has no financial effect to the business because Mr. Tagikana was just hired and still no actual services or no value received from him. Consequently, there is no corresponding value parted with for this transaction. Therefore, there is no amount to be recorded in the books of accounts. But once Tajikana had already rendered his service as operations manager of the business, that's the time that the business will already incur an expense in the form of salary to be given to Mr. J. Tagikana. So, on the salary period, Mr. J. Tagikana will now receive a salary of 30,000. That's the time now that there is already an economic value to be recorded. So, that time, you will now record it as an expense and a credit or an asset, a cash, due to payment to Mr. J. Staricana as an operation manager of the company. But for this transaction, there is no amount to be recorded because there is no economic value. There is just a hiring that happened. Alright, let's now proceed with the determination of balances. The owner started the business with a 150,000 capital. At the end of the year, the total value of claims of the creditors is 80,000 and the owner's equity is 120,000 of the total assets. So how much is the total assets at the end of the year? Given the ending balances of the liability and equity, we have to reflect these ending balances in order to arrive at the ending balances of the total asset. So, liability of 80,000, which is the total value of claims of the creditors, and owner's equity of 120,000. 80,000 liability plus owner's equity 120,000 equals 200,000 asset. So in here we maintain the accounting equation, assets is equal to liabilities plus equity. So 200,000 assets equal to 200,000 liabilities and owner's equity. So the total assets of at the end of the year is 200,000 pesos. Next transaction. The assets of the business comprise of 100,000 cash and 900,000 land and building. Of course, these are assets. The land and building have unpaid mortgage, the only liability of the business. The owner's equity is 650,000. How much is the business liability? Let us suppose the given data. So, for asset, we have cash amounting to 100,000 and then property, plants, and equipment, 900,000, the land and the building. So, the total asset is equal to 1 million pesos. 100,000 plus 900,000. And then, the owner's equity is 650,000. So it is stated in the data that the land and building have unpaid mortgage, the only liability of the business. So how will we get the liability? We have to squeeze. So maintaining the balancing figure, assets equal to liabilities plus owner's equity, or then the modified accounting equation, owner's liability is equal to asset less owner's equity. So liability is to be computed as follows. Asset of 1 million less owner's equity of 650,000 equals 350,000 liability. So that is the business liability in the transaction. So that's it. We now maintain the accounting equation asset is equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. Through using the modified accounting equation, liability is equal to asset less owner's equity, we're able to compute for the amount of liability, 350,000. Third illustration. The initial investment of the owner in his business is 75,000. At the end of the year, the total assets of the business amounted to 100,000, which consists of 50,000 cash and 50,000 equipment. The equipment has an unpaid balance of 20,000, the only liability of the business. So how much is the owner's equity at the end of the year? Because the ending balances were now given, let us just jot down given amounts in the equation. For asset, we have 50,000 cash and 50,000 equipment. So the total assets amount to 100,000. And then there is an unpaid balance for equipment, the only liability of the business, and that will be recorded under the liability element of the equation, 20,000. So let's look into the owner's equity using the modified accounting equation. In finding for the owner's equity is equal to assets less liability. So given the amount of asset 100,000 less liability 20,000, the amount of owner's equity equals 80,000. So here's now the accounting equation. Asset is equal to liability plus owner's equity. Through using the modified accounting equation, owner's equity is equal to asset less liability, where we are able to compute the owner's equity amounting to 80,000. 100,000 assets is equal to 100,000 liabilities and owner's equity. Next transaction. The business is a servicing business. For the period, it collected 50,000 cash and still has receivables amounting to 25,000 for the total services rendered. How much is the business revenue for the period? It's just simply computed as cash 50,000 plus the accounts receivable 25,000. The service revenue is equal to 75,000. So why are all the cash being considered as service revenue? Because these 50,000 cash were being collected from the service rendered. And then this receivable also pertains to the total service rendered. The 50,000 was already collected and the 25,000 is still collectible from the customers. Okay, we have here the fifth transaction. The total cash payments made by the business for the period amounted to 100,000 as follows. For the purchase of equipment for business use, the company or the business paid 50,000. For the salaries of the employees, the business made a payment of 35,000. For water and electricity used in business, the business paid 10,000. For taxes and licenses of the business paid 5,000. So the total operating expenses equals 50,000 plus 35,000, 85,000 plus 10,000, 95,000 plus 5,000 equals 100,000. Total operating expenses equals 100,000. Okay, this ends our discussion in analyzing and accounting for business transactions. Hope you will gladly apply what you have learned in varied learning tasks given to you. So just feel free to watch and rewatch the audiovisual presentations for you to understand, conceptualize, and comprehend with the lessons even more. So thank you for actively listening and analyzing. God bless. Enjoy learning. Goodbye.